Welcome to the Your Limitless Leadership podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. Here, we believe leadership isn't just about titles. It's about how you show up in every aspect of life. Whether you're leading a business, building a legacy as an entrepreneur, guiding your family, or striving to lead yourself first, this podcast is for you. Join us as we dive into real conversations about growth, decision-making, and the courage it takes to lead with purpose. Get ready to be inspired, challenged, and equipped to become the limitless leader you are meant to be. This is Your Limitless Leadership podcast. Let's lead without limits. Welcome to Your Limitless Leadership with Mrs. Jenny Widman and Mr. Brent Widman. Oh, I'm excited for this one today because Jenny. Well, it's just the stories. I just love it, man. Like the story you talk about taking your trip. Because, and there's a big thing too. Like if there's somebody that is really good at, I don't want to say taking trips because that sounds funny, but somebody who's really good at knowing when they need time and when they need to be in the business, it's you. And that's one of the things I love because that's a straight transparency. And maybe like a lot of other people out there listening to this, I really struggle with taking time off, like allotted time off. And it's something you're really good at. But the story you came home with that we get to hear today and play off of a little bit, it's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Well, I'll just get right into it. And sometimes I don't realize how fulfilling a trip is until I get back from the trip because it was a short trip. It was Thursday to Saturday, 2 nights, and we made the most out of it. I went with this girl, Ashley, who I had just met this year in March in Tulum at a bachelorette party for my best friend. And, there's just some people that you totally just hit it off with. As the minute that you meet them, you just know could have been friends forever. And that's how I felt with Ashley. I was just drawn to her. She was drawn to me. We hung out the whole bachelorette together. And she approached me with a trip. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do this. And I chose a place I've always wanted to go on my bucket list. It's Mont Tremblant. I'm probably totally butchering that, but Quebec, gorgeous. It's a ski town, but in the summer they have so many family activities, families all around. Lots of hiking, national park. It was absolutely gorgeous. We had an amazing time. But I wanted to share this story today because as I reflected, I was like, wow, this is leadership sometimes. And, I'm going to try to make this long story short. We'll see how I do. But we were told to go to this lookout point in the national park. So we drive 30 minutes, another 30 minutes once you're in the national park to find the parking. And we go to La Roche. Like we wanted to see this lookout at the top of the mountain. It's supposed to be one of the beautiful views in this national park in Canada. And so we're we parked the car and we took the trail that said La Roche. We get maybe halfway up the mountain and we see this sign. And I remember looking at the sign and I remember seeing La Roche. And I was like, oh, perfect, Ash, it's straight ahead. She was like, are you sure? Like 2 people just went that way. There's a guided path this way and there's orange tape going this way. And are you sure it's this way? And I was like, yeah, I'm 100%. I'm positive. It's straight ahead. She's like, okay. So we continue and we keep going straight. And it was about 30 minutes that we've been going straight at this point. And this straight path was straight up a mountain. I'm saying like we were trekking. And at one point, it was actually beautiful because we were in this mountain trail. And then it opened up really pretty into this like plain area. And we're like, oh, this is gorgeous. We must be almost to the top. This is so pretty. So we just keep going and we keep seeing this orange danger tape, but it's cut off. So I'm like, oh, it's just cut off, and Ashley's like, yeah, it must, so it must be fine. So we just keep going. We don't see a single soul. Like, this is supposed to be a very tourist attraction lookout point. And I'm getting a little nervous. I'm like, Ashley, we've been going 30 minutes. We haven't seen a single person. Like, are we going the right way? She's like, it must just be straight up. Like, we must be almost there. I was like, yeah, we must be almost there. So we keep going. I'm hearing like noises. I'm getting in my head. And Ashley's like, yeah, maybe this doesn't seem right. We look to the right, and there is literally, we're 30 minutes straight up this mountain, nobody to be found. And we see this hut. We see this obviously something made a home for itself, and it was not small. It was big. And that's when I was like, Ashley, I do not have a good feeling. We need to go back down. And she was like, okay. So we go back down, we make it about 2 minutes, and she's like, are you sure? Like, what if we're almost there? And I was just thinking and picturing that, the meme that has the gold digger that's like almost to the gold, and, that one gives up and the other one doesn't. So we're like, let's not be that gold digger. Let's keep going. So we go back up, and then we get to this hut again, and we're like, no, something's off. Something's off. We need to leave. So we go all the way back down, 30 minutes down. It took about 20 because we were going down at this point. We get back to the sign, and the sign literally says, La Roche, go left. And we went the complete wrong way. And, saying all of this, as I reflected back and as we were like laughing at ourselves and how she blindly trusted me, I had so much confidence. Like, I knew it was straight, and I was like, no need to look. It's straight. Let's go. And she just trusted. She trusted that I knew what I was doing and that we were going in that direction. And it's a good laugh now about it, but going back to leadership, I feel like we make decisions so many times as leaders that we have to, and not all the time do we know if it's the right one or the wrong one. And it's the confidence that you exude, and it's also knowing when to pull the plug when it is the wrong decision. Because at the end of the day, when we finally got to that lookout point, it was gorgeous. It made the whole trip that much better because we went through the hardship of whatever this hut thing was, the straight up mountain, us laughing about it. We got 5,000 extra steps because of it. And it made the lookout point so much more spectacular. And so it's like, you need that confidence. You need that person that is directive. And you also need to apologize and take ownership of, I screwed up. I am sorry. I'm baffled. I was so confident it was straight. And it makes it all better. So I wanted to tell that story because I think it's a good representation of what leadership is at times.
I think it is what you just said is a fantastic and looking from the outside in, just the confidence you had. And that's the thing with leadership. It's whether you feel like you're 100% right, as long as you feel like you're right in the moment, make the decision. And that's what you did. I laugh because I've played this game with you before when we went to this beehive in Banff and we had to climb this thing and we get to the top. And it's literally, when I say that, I know a lot of people use that word, a cement block that was the beehive. There was nothing to it. And that's what we had to go see and had to go get. But it was the confidence in which she wanted to climb this and go see this beehive in Banff that we went to see it. But go back to the book is called Think and Grow Rich, is what you're thinking about with the guy, and he sold all of his tools, and then the next guy that bought his all his equipment was the guy that struck gold. But the humbleness in which you said you're sorry as well, where I think that's the one thing that stands out, because we can make mistakes, we can not always be right, and we can backtrack and we do all these different things. But how many times, whether it's as a leader in a company, as a leader of a team, or even in your relationship, and you know me, I've been guilty of this as well, that the stubbornness shines through. And even when we're wrong, it's hard for us to admit that we're wrong, or we try to play it off, or we manipulate it a little bit to not be wrong. And instead of doing that, you just said, I made a mistake, so be it. But let's look at the positive side of the mistake, the steps, the fun, the laugh, what we earned because of it, what we got to see because of it. So there's a lot of things that go with it on top of it. So, yeah.
Right when we got back to almost the sign, we finally saw our first couple, and they were probably in their 60s. They had legit hiking gear, legit backpacks, water containers, and they were going like they were gonna go climb this mountain that we were climbing in danger, right? And here we are in just like our yoga pants and sneakers. And we're like, is this La Roche? And they're like, no. This is, and it sounds like La Poison. It's like Poison or something. I was like, even the name is not something we were prepared for, and she's like, you need to go back down, anyway. It's the first thing I said was, I apologize like 15 times, and I was just like, I am so sorry. I even told her, Jody, you don't have to look, come on, it's this way, come on. And so yeah, that was my fault. But
I love that is. Well, let me ask that. When you look at, because we obviously talk a lot about leadership, and I feel like it's kind of cliche at times that you just lead by example, and you got to be confident and what have you. Has there been times, and I'm putting you on the spot here, that you use something like this within what you do on a day-to-day basis, that you have had to make a decision that you were really unsure of, but you knew that you had to make a decision and you just stuck with it? Whether that's in your past, whether that's, whether it's the past company we were at, even before that, books, even before that, college, or transitioning to what we do now, or decisions you've made along the line with what we do now. Is there anything that sticks out to you, any stories there that you've struggled with, but you made the decision, so you stuck with it?
I feel as if every single day we have to make decisions, and if you're not making decisions, you're probably staying stagnant and not doing anything with your
I agree.
It sounds kind of more like not doing anything with your life, but it's like, I respect people that make a decision rather than stick to the norm, or stick to the comfort, or stick to complacency. Because at least when you're making decisions one way or the other in your life, you're going towards something. You're going towards where you want to be one day, and you're not staying stagnant. So there's so many decisions I've made in my life. Like I asked myself, was that a good one? Was that a bad one? Should I have stayed that long? Should I have left earlier? Should I have done that internship? Should I have done that? And it's like, what I can say is, whatever decisions I've made up until this point in my life, it's gotten me to this point in my life. And if I would have made a different decision back then, would I be where I am today with my family, with my career, with my, physical weight goal? Like, would I be where I am today? And every single decision has led me here. And so I'm super proud of every decision I've made, and I don't regret a single one because of it, right? And at the end of the day, I believe everything happens for a reason. So we're going throughout life and we have to make these hard decisions, and we have to make decisions that we're not necessarily comfortable with. I can name many of them just in the past couple years that we've had to make that I didn't know if I made the right one at the time, but it is the right one because it's where I am today. So what I would say to anybody, if you're scared to make that decision, or if you are realizing, wow, I haven't made a life-changing decision in the last year, make one, do something, make that choice, because you're thinking about it for a reason. And do you want to be 1 year from now in the same spot you are today? I would hope not. So I would want, and I encourage people to go after what they're looking for and the path that they're on, because at the end of the day, we're all in this journey together, and you cannot do life alone. And let people in and get help when you need it, and get comfort when you need it, and seek that affirmation when you need it. Ask people about what decision you're about to make, and ask for the support. And people won't let you down because you let them in.
It's funny you say that, and then we're having this conversation. I was talking to that Ashley Smith that we met at the event a couple weeks ago.
We just interviewed her, right?
Yeah, and she talked about the topic of that podcast is shoot your shot.
That's great.
Because she talks about how she went into that room and there's 49 other people besides her, and she was really intimidated, but she did it anyway. And there was times where when she first got into what she does, and I'm going somewhere with this. So she started with University of Tennessee back when Pat Summitt was there. And she was asked if she wanted to work or be an intern for the University of Tennessee girls basketball. And she said, only if I get to work alongside Pat Summitt. So instead of just taking a job, she said, only if I get to do this, which is what you're talking about. She shot her shot right there. And then her brother got drafted in the NFL, and she then transitioned into maybe working for the NFL. And she sent her resume out or talked to a couple of people. And it was the Kansas City Chiefs that actually interviewed her and offered her something, but they said they were embarrassed to offer her an internship. But again, she shot her shot by saying, I will take this internship because I believe in myself enough to do the things that I know I can achieve. And that's, Jenny, that's what you're talking about here, is so many of us, whether it's our personal lives or our professional lives, that we stay stuck in the things that we do because we're simply just scared to shoot our shot or do the things that we want to achieve because of, I mean, a lot of times it just comes down to money. You know, can I provide for the people I need to provide for if I do this? And again, a testament to you, and I guess us leaning on each other. On January 16th of 2025, we shot our shot, and we haven't looked back, and we just continue to invest in ourselves. And I think that's the difference when you look at successful people that, like she did, that were in that room. You invest in yourself. That doesn't always mean money. That can be development. That can be the person beside you, the people around you, seminars, trainings, whatever it is. And it helps you make those decisions that you're talking about that may not always be the right decisions, but you figure out a way. Mm-hmm. And I love that you're talking about that, because that's what I'm hearing from you. You figured out a way to climb that mountain, come back down, keep going. You just did. I know it sounds weird to say it when you think about it that way in Quebec, but I don't know if people see that on a day-to-day basis, you know?
Well, and to take the positive, like there was not a negative out of our mouth about the hour we wasted or the exertion that we were going straight up this mountain, or the bears that could have came after us. Like, we did not dwell on any of that. We talked about, oh my gosh, we're at 15,000 steps already. Oh my gosh, this lookout is amazing. Oh, now we have civilization and we're seeing people left and right when we're going the right way. Like, we just kept talking and thinking about the positives and didn't dwell on the negatives. And I feel like that is such a concept that needs to be talked about more, is what's the good that can come from all of your past choices that you've made. And let's look at it in a way of how it's helped you and not hurt you. Let's look at it in a way of how it's made you grow and not made you decline. Like, we need to make sure that we keep moving forward for the better, not only for your family, but like for your clients, for yourself. And so as much as I was in some low points over the past year or 5 years on different things, the one thing that I can say confidently today is I am the best coach I have ever been. I am the best leader I have ever been. I am the best mom I have ever been. And it's only going to get better. But all these past decisions and all these past choices has only led me here, which has only led us to be at the best version of ourselves. So all your bad choices and all your good choices lead you to be a better person.
We all have a story. Every single one of us has a story to tell, whether we see it or not. And the fact that you just said, I'm a better coach, I'm a better leader, and I'm a better mom, it's because you've been through and done hard things, or had to make hard decisions, or had to struggle through things. And I think that's what we miss at times. If we shy away from those harder things, if we stay stuck in the complacency or comfortable, we don't get the opportunity to really help other people out. Like, I was listing one day off all the, well, you can call it hard or dumb stuff I've done, that it gives me the opportunity to help other people, though. And again, it goes back to, things happen for a reason, but instead of looking at it as woe is me, it's more of a, what am I going to learn from this, and how am I going to learn from this, and how am I going to help other people with this? Mm-hmm. I mean, we could rattle off. You could make a whole list of Brent Widman dummisms that essentially help other people. But I think that's part of it. And that's what you're saying. And I don't know if people see that in themselves. And I hope that if you're listening to this, or when you're listening to this, that you take a good step back and look at your life and go, am I where I want to be? And if you're not, what are you willing to do about it? Really? What are you willing to go, I can change this? And that's exactly, I look back at your fitness journey, or call it whatever you want to call it. I know we've talked about it numerous times, but you weren't where you wanted to be. And yeah, it was hard to change that. And it sucked at times for you. But you changed it. You could have stopped, you could have quit, you could have whatever, which has happened numerous times. You have never quit, but start, stop, right? And I think that's part of it too. When I heard you say best coach, best leader, best mom, doing those types of things makes you a better mom or dad, makes you a better leader. I don't care about your title. I care about who you are as a person. And I think that's what you're saying there. I hope that's what you're saying there, is that's what it resonates with me, I guess. Mm-hmm. Has there been times in your world that you've made a decision and it just didn't come out the way you wanted it to? Whether you stayed somewhere too long, whether you took a path that you shouldn't have, whether you listened to somebody maybe you shouldn't have? Is there anything that stands out to you along the line when you hear those words, but then that you learned from it as well? Can you pinpoint anything there?
I don't regret anything because of the fact that who knows if it would lead me to you or to our own company or to the courage that you need to literally drop everything overnight and start over when you have a family to support and a mortgage to pay. Are there decisions that I've stayed too long somewhere? Yes. Are there decisions that I haven't been the best friend to people? Yes. Are there decisions that I didn't know if I wanted to be a mom and we had a baby unexpectedly? Yes. Are there decisions I've made being a stepmom that I regret? Yes. Like, there are definitely choices and things that have came out of my mouth that I'm a very blunt person and I'm a Karen at times when someone pisses me off that I regret because I don't like treating anybody poorly. And I don't like, it's not that I'm angry at the person per se. I'm angry at it. And it's like when it doesn't make sense, I have a very hard time accepting that. And so, I go back to times in my life where I'm like, oh, I just, that's not Jenny. That's not me. And I feel bad. And I apologize, but like going back to your question, I don't necessarily regret how I've handled anything because it's made me better and it's made me look at situations lighter or differently or not everything's a big deal or take time for myself because I know I'm a better mom when I do. And so, I know you say all the time that you're really good at taking vacations, and it has nothing to do with taking vacations. What I prioritize in my life and always had, even before Brent came along, is memories with people and perspective with people. I love seeing how other people live. I love exploring the world. I love going to Europe and seeing how people, they take siestas from 2 to 5 in the afternoon and shops are closed, restaurants are closed. You can't even do anything. Like, they make you slow down so that you can relax and enjoy your everyday life. And I love that. I love the fact that there's other cultures out there that people can experience differently. And I know it's very important for me to have those experiences because it makes me a better mom, wife, leader, friend when I get back. Even if it's for 2 days, it can be 10 days. It does not matter. It depends on the situation. But I'm rearing off of your question here. I would just say, like, there's times that I wish I was a better human and a better person and made decisions or spoke differently to people. But can I sit here and confidently say there's one thing? No, like I don't regret a thing so far in my life. And I know I've rubbed people the wrong way. I know not everybody likes me and it hurt me. That has hurt me. I've cried many times before because someone doesn't like me or because they said, I can't stand that person. I legit had one person say to me, you are not welcome into my office because I can't stand you and I can't stand your voice. I had another person say that my voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard to him. And he's a leader I've worked with for many years. So, like, yeah, those things hurt. Those things affect you. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. And you shouldn't feel like you're for everybody, because you're not. And you just need to find the people that are your people and that you can gravitate to. Last thing I'll say to that, it's like Ashley and I, this bachelorette, there's 8 girls there. There's, two of my best friends and other people that I've never met before. And Ashley was one of these people I've never met. And she's my people. She got me, and she'll be in my life forever now. And it's like, you just have to find those people. I love all the girls that were there. They're awesome girls. But Ashley and I are making it a point to like stay in each other's lives. And you need to find your Ashleys. You need to find the people in your life that make you a better person and that you want to spend your time with. Because like you said, we all have a story. We all have shit we're going through, and we just need to find the people that get us.
That's a really cool perspective, because it is. It's at times we want people to like us. And I think at some point, I don't know if it's when we get older or you build up the callus or the foundation enough that eventually it doesn't matter anymore if people want to. I don't know. I always looked at it like this, and I know we're veering off track here, but a little bit on like judgment and what have you. I've learned 2 things about judgment. I don't really care about judgment because I'm not going to change somebody anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And on the flip side of that, if somebody's judging me and they're sitting at home right now talking about Brent Widman or Jenny Widman, I don't know anyway, so what the hell's, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I'll never know that. And that's living your life. Like you asked me years ago, what do you want in somebody, I guess, put it that way. And my word was kind. Mm. And the thing I really want is just peace. And peace to me peace comes from within. And what I mean by that is we can control that. We will all go through hard things. Every single person that listens to this will go through something in their life that they're going to struggle with numerous times. But what that is doing for you, and what that, just like you, when you talk about I've been a Karen and I've rubbed people the wrong way, or people have gotten mad at you or said, don't come into my office. If somebody said that today, you wouldn't care. But the first time you hear it, it bothers you. So you're building up that strength. And the best part is you get to pass that on to other people. Mm. So now you get to be there for somebody and understand what they're feeling and what they're going through. And that's where I think people fall short if they're not putting themselves out there. So bringing this full circle, if you're not putting yourself out there as a leader and taking chances and taking that path that maybe nobody else has walked down or walked up, even though you might have read the sign wrong, you're not going to be able to, you're not doing the things to help yourself and eventually help others. You're just not. And I wish I could instill that in people. I really do. If there's one thing that I wish I could take and just ingrain in people, it's get up at 4 a.m. and go for a run. Go out for a 9-mile run when it's 82 degrees out and the air quality is 170 or whatever.
Let's not do that again.
I didn't tell you to do that. But you see what I mean? Like, go out and do these hard things. If you're a salesperson, listen to this, make more phone calls than you ever had. If you're a leader, lean into that hard conversation when you want to shy away from it. Recruit that person that you never dreamed that you could recruit. Make that hard decision that may not be the right decision, may not be the wrong decision, but it's the decision. And watch what starts to happen in your life instead of shying away from the stuff that you feel like is hard. That's how you get better. That is how you become a better leader. That is how you become a better coach. That is how you become a better mom. And that is how you become a better friend. You said those 4 things. And that falls into every facet of your life. It just does.
It really does. And maybe it does just come with age, because you have definitely taught me to not sweat the small stuff so much. So You just need accountability in your life sometimes, and it's
I don't know
all
if she
good.
called me old. Did you just call me old there, or did you call me wise? I'm not sure which one you just did. One of the two.
Wise. Stay married to me.
Oh my goodness. I tell you what, if people take little things away from this and you like what you hear, I would encourage you, because you've heard us, you've probably listened to more of these. Set up a call with us, dnacall.com, and we will go through your business. We'll go through what you need help with. And I go back to, this is what gets me, Jen, is I go back to that event that we were at a couple of weeks ago, and there was 50 people in that room. And 46 of them were trying to find the easy way. And there's a reason why you and I gained business out of that, because they looked at us and said, holy cow, these people know what they're talking about. And the reason I tell you that is that's what we're here to help with. And I could nail it down to specifics. Like, we're here to make you more efficient. We're here to optimize your business. Like this, we're here to make you a better leader by helping you walk through the hard things that you're simply not doing, like Jenny just talked about. And I don't know how else to say that, but confidence comes from these things, is really what it does. My question to you, again, I love asking you questions because I love to hear the wisdom of Jenny Widman. What have you found, and going to leadership, taking the path, starting our own company, we're 7, 8, whatever months in. What have you found to be the hardest part for you? Like, what's been the scare? Maybe it's this way. Let me ask this in a different way. What did you think was going to be the scariest thing, but you have come to find out it wasn't that bad? And here's why I asked, to give you a little time to process that. We had numerous people that were supposed to be high-level, top-level people tell us not to start a business because it was too hard. So I go back to the question, what did you feel like was going to be scary, or that you thought was going to be scary before you knew it just wasn't that scary?
Best decision of our professional lives. Let's just say that. However, I was with a company for 15 years. My identity, my professional career identity was this company. And it's given me a lot. It's made me who I am today. It's helped me mature and process and be a self-starter. And I owe my whole professional being to what this company provided and helped me learn about myself and put me in the environment to succeed with the people that I surrounded myself with. And the hardest part for me was I didn't feel like I had an identity. Like I literally felt like my professional identity was washed away overnight, and I grieved for a week. I mean, I would cry myself to sleep. I would cry in my office. I would go on walks and start crying. And I processed leaving so much more differently than you did. And you just took the bull by its horns and I felt like you felt like nothing had happened and you were totally fine. And here I am, just a complete mess. And we did go through some hardships because, Brent was trying to, he felt like, maybe I'm putting words, but you definitely felt like you were walking on eggshells around me because I didn't know what mood I was in that day. I was in a depressed mood. I was in a mad mood. I was in a sad mood. I was in a I don't know what to do mood. I was in a let's get it mood. Like, my moods changed like by the hour. And there were times I just needed to book a massage in the middle of the day because I just needed to get away from my house, So for that couple weeks, my identity just kind of left, and I didn't know how to process this identity, and come to find out, that was self-sabotage. That was that was me putting something on myself that was not even in existence. Like my career, my job, my company I work for is not Jenny Widman. And it took me a couple weeks to process this and to realize, but with the help of many, I realized, like, who is Jenny Widman and what is my personal branding? Like, who am I? What am I good at? What am I attributing my success to? And I lost it. And so even though that was the scariest part, it's also been the most rewarding part, because whatever happens in the future, like, I know who I am anymore in my professional self, and a company doesn't define that for me. And if you're listening to this and you work for a company, your company does not define you. You define you. And so it's great. Some companies I know are amazing to work for. The company I worked for 15 years was amazing to work for. It's just, it does not have to define who you are. You define who you are. And so I would encourage anybody out here to figure out who that is, and what keeps you alive at work. Don't lose that. What's that spark? Why do you love what you do? And keep that alive as all the politics and stuff happens in a company, and drama and all the things. But keep that at the forefront and make sure that your everyday actions align with that. And I can confidently say they do now. So it's exciting. But that was the hardest part. It's what I didn't know it would be the hardest part until it actually happened. It was like more of a grieving process, but then realization that there's nothing to grieve. It's given me so much. And now I can operate more at peace with who I am and aligned with who I am.
I love that you said that, by the way, because you just gave a lot of people permission, because a lot of people get scared. And I say a lot of people, but when you leave a company to start your own thing, or to go somewhere else or what have you, there is the fear of the unknown. There is, I'm scared. I don't know what to expect, what have you. And it is kind of a loss. And it's okay to grieve that. It's okay to go through that. You don't have to be. My grieving process started years before we left. That's the only difference between you and I, is I had already gone through that, and the what ifs and the unknowns and all those different things that I had come to terms with it, is all it was. And that's, my wiring's different than your wiring. And you just made it okay for people with your wiring to go on to bigger and other things. I'm not going to say better, because it doesn't mean it's better. It's just other is all it is. And I love that you made it okay. And the other thing you made it okay for is you breezed right past this, is you asked for help. You did two things. You go ahead. What were you going to say?
You find out who your real friends are too. When you're going through hardship, and when you're going through a life-changing event, you find out who is for you. So that's
They send you a little, and the way to notice that can be a voice memo or a text message that said, how are things going? And you doing okay? And all these different things where they're asking you. And asking for help when you need it most, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where many people shy away from that, because they feel like they're going to burden people or what have you. And again, this all rolls back to, I say this, it all rolls back to, I know we use the word leadership a lot, but it rolls back to who you are as a person, because when you do these things, you can help those around you. And that's a leader. It doesn't have to be a title. So that's pretty cool. I did not expect that answer. I didn't know what to expect, but yeah, I love that.
You want to answer it for yourself, Brent? What's one thing that you didn't, when we made this decision, know it would impact you or affect you? Or the hardest part?
I thought the way people talked about, and I wholeheartedly mean this, I thought the way people talked about starting a business, that it was going to be so hard. Like, you're not going to be able to sleep. You're going to have to work 20 hours a day. You're going to have to do all these different things, which I'm going to tell you is a crock of shit. When you are efficient and when you actually show up and work, it is, I don't want to say easy.
It's simple.
It's simple because you're doing the things that are consistently moving the business forward. When you're not afraid, when you actually lean into things, when you actually go out and put your sales hat on and do the things you need to do, good things happen. And that's what surprised me the most, because so many people said, because we told some people before we left, and they said, oh, it's hard. You want to do that? Don't start your own thing. I've done that. Don't do that. It's so hard. Well, they're not Brent and Jenny. And that's what it taught me. You're simply not us. And that's, you can call that not humble. You can call that whatever. But when you build up that and you work hard enough for that and do those things, it makes it a lot easier. And that's what that taught me, is that there is nothing that you will put in front of us. And I when you listen to this, create this mentality. There is nothing that you will put in front of us that we won't figure out. I remember your mom asking me on the couch that night, aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid to start your own business? I'm like, no. I mean, I know what I do and I know what you do. What is there to be afraid of? And when you trust yourself enough and you trust your other person enough that you're both going to have your own things and do. Now, it took a little bit to figure out, for sure. But we figured it out, and we still are. So I think that's what surprised me most, is that it wasn't as hard as people made it out to be, because you just do it. Mm-hmm. You just do it. I don't know. That's it. That's it. Thank you again for listening to this. This stuff is real, man. Like, this is, when you have two people that have been through it and the things that we have been through and done and accomplished, you're learning from real life experience, not somebody who talks to it or thinks about it or wants to do it or tells you you need to do it but are not doing it themselves. Don't fall into that trap. Listen to the real stuff. And again, if you want to set up a call and you want to talk to us, whether it's Jenny or I, it doesn't matter, because we both obviously have different personalities. You can tell that. Set up a call with us, dnacall.com. And we will help you. We will help. There's no obligation. There's no cost or anything like that. So it's just simply going through your business and where you're at. So anything to add, Mrs. Jennifer Marie Widman?
No, not in this moment.
Thank you all for being on here. Thanks for joining us on the Your Limitless Leadership podcast with Jenny and Brent Widman. We hope today's conversation inspired you to think differently about leadership, not just in your career, but in every part of your life. Remember, leadership starts with leading yourself first. It's about taking action, making bold decisions, and showing up with purpose. Now, it's time to take what you've heard today and put it into practice. Whether it's in your business, your community, your family, or your own personal growth, start leading without limits. You have the power to become the leader you're meant to be. Until next time, keep pushing your boundaries and leading with purpose.